Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Kaisercade. I am back with an all new look. And yes, I am aware that I do look like a serial killer that escaped from Florida. Bit of Cape Fear going on, I know. But anyway, on this edition of Kaisercade.
This edition of the show, it's the old review Halloween special. Well, nearly all review, where I take a look at the top 5 worst games that you can find on the PlayStation 4.
Sit down, guys.
Number 5.
Super Kids Racing may sound like a cute Mario Kart clone, but it's really a kick in the dick for anyone that bought this title. And man, am I still feeling that pain. If you can get past the confusing to navigate through menu system, you'll find yourself playing an incredibly bland and buggy game full of free-made Unity assets and dumb-ass computer-controlled opponents. It's a lazy mess where every element is just simply slapped on with no fine-tuning whatsoever. How dumb is the AI? Well, not only are they slow, easy to overtake, but for some reason they like to turn in the wrong direction and get themselves stuck, sometimes even clogging up the track. I did like the variety of the levels and cars. Sadly, while the variety was nice, it was like saying that you got a plate full of animal poop that you got to choose to eat from. The levels are either too short or too damn long, and the lack of speed of the cars really makes this to be a real boring experience. Although I did get a kick out of looking at this level. It looks like a xenomorph from Alien, if it wasn't obvious enough, is bouncing on one of those jolly jumpers that you used to find in Toy World. Nice to see that the alien is having fun. Me on the other hand, not so much. During the races, you can collect coins that you'll need in order to unlock more levels and cars. Sadly, the unlock system is also just as confusing as trying to navigate through the menus. Why? Well, it's very easy to lose track of your cursor, and it's even worse when you have two options, as you can't tell which one you are highlighting. Surprisingly enough, each car does have different stats and play slightly different from one another. With strong emphasis on the word slightly, that is, as they may as well just play the same. The music in this is
super loud and obnoxious to where I have to
turn down. Yes, I have to turn it down. Got that annoying. The music isn't only bad, but it's also incredibly slapped on to where the music just simply doesn't work with the game. If you ever wanted to hear reggae music while racing around an ice-cold mountain, well, be my guest. Lastly, this game is just plain ugly. It looks like a weird, uncanny world where rubber and wood have merged to create a world where the living dummies have become God and removed the pasta to make an ugly and slightly unsettling looking game. If you're a sadist and enjoy playing asset flips like this, you'll get a real kick out of this game. No, not me though. This game can burn in rubber hell. 2. But thank goodness there is a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel. That's right, while Super Kids Racing may not be the most fun game to play of all time, it does have some of the easiest trophies that you'll find on the PlayStation 4. And what you need to achieve this is, well, super easy. All you need to do is drive around and collect coins. Lots and lots of coins. The downside of this is that it will require you to play the game for about an hour. But make sure to just keep on repeating the first stage. And you should be right. This game doesn't have a Platinum Trophy, but with the new PlayStation update, Platinum Trophies don't really matter anymore, as each trophy boosts up your level anyway. So go out and achieve, my brothers. Achieve!
Number 4.
Horse Racing 2016, even though it came out in 2017, is a simple racing game where you get to play as horses, travelling around courses. The goal is to come first in a race, even though that really doesn't matter, as you get to move on no matter what position you end up being in. There's a lot of running, there's some jumping, and of course, there's mashing. Lots and lots of mashing. No matter how fast you press that button, it doesn't guarantee first place, as the AI in this game is very, very tough. To get the best speed, you'll need to be good with reflexes and timing, because when the races start, you'll get a part where you need to hit the button at the right time. If you do so, you get the incredible speed and stamina. And if you happen to run out of stamina, your horse just simply collapses, because apparently your jockey is so broke that he could only afford a diabetic horse. It's not a fun experience, even if you can get a good streak going, because it's a really dull and boring game. Oh, did I forget to mention just how broken the physics are? Yes, they are really lame. You bounce and crash into everything. It's not even funny to look at. It's just really pathetic. The graphics are really bad. It's so bad that you won't believe that this is even a real game. It looks like someone shit mean, for Christ's sakes. Now, the only good thing I can say is that you can name your horsies, but that's about it. Oh, the music is also real shit. The only reason to even play this game is if you've got a controller with turbo mode, so you can get those sweet, sweet trophies. Otherwise, you'll just be fucking the controller with your thumbs. Swell. Well, that's it. There's really not much to this game. This game is basic and really, really bad. 2.
Don't go away. The Kaisercade Halloween special will be back after these messages.
Did you know that Sega video games are available for rental from your local video store? Did you know that Sega Master Systems are also available for rental? Did you know that Sega leads the world in the development of new and exciting video games? Did you know that Sega games feature the sharp, clear video images, vibrant colors, and realistic sound you've been craving? Did you know that Sega games have challenges for players from beginners through to masters? Did you know that Sega has a range of titles including the well-known hits Afterburner and Double Dragon? Did you know that fantasy space games, fast action games, and realistic sports simulations are all in the rapidly expanding Sega range? Did you know that each month up to 10 hot new Sega releases will be available for rental? Sega, all kinds of games, all kinds of fun. Sega, let the games begin.
Sonic Adventure.
You are watching the Kaisercade Halloween special. We're back. Now let's annoy him some more. Number 3.
Now, when you think bad 2D side-scrollers where you get to fight with a sword, you think of games such as Wizards and Warriors and Legend of Zelda 2. Even though Legend of Zelda 2 is more misunderstood than anything, but that's besides the point. Instead, you should be thinking of a game like this, Little Adventures on the Prairie. Not to be confused with the classic TV show Little House on the Prairie. Oh no. This game has you playing as a little blue-haired boy with a big head and a huge sword, who must cross through the land and slay all the goblins along the way. Oh boy, where do I start with this one? The flaws are obvious just by looking at the footage here. The gameplay is bad, really bad, although the controls are surprisingly responsive, but the combat itself is incredibly broken. You think that a simple swing of the sword would be enough to harm the baddies? Sadly, it isn't, because the hit detection is barely even there. It takes several swings for a hit to even register on the enemy. But yet, the enemy can hit you just fine. Mashing the attack button does make this guy look like he's doing a sick Angus Young impersonation, though. Jumping is incredibly floaty, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in this case, as mixing that with the attack, you could use that to make a killer exploit. It's also very sad that this exploit is the only way to beat this game. Health and power-up items will be found, and they do come in handy, but they don't make this game any more fun than what it already is, and it's already not a very fun game. You'll see new characters and new levels that will provide new challenges, such as floors that will hurt you, and more floors that will hurt you! Yay! But seriously, they don't add anything much to the game, and you'll find that it's just as dull as your sword before even completing level 1. Graphics are even more slapped on than the gameplay, with poorly designed characters that look like they were drawn by a 4-year-old who was just getting into anime for the first time. The levels are also incredibly generic and broken in design. There'll be spots where the collision will simply won't be there, and you'll also see assets just lazily copied and pasted all over the place, and it just looks plain wrong. The music itself is generic, but not bad, and I did find myself slightly enjoying it. Granted, it's nothing that you want to hear over and over again, but for a game like this, it's passable. Overall, this is one of the saddest things that I have ever seen released on a PlayStation console, and this is coming from a guy that played some of those weird Disney knockoff games by Midas for the PS1. It makes 75% of the cheap Steam releases look like, well, genuine games. Wait a second, why isn't this game released on Steam? Who knows? And most importantly, who cares? Because this poo bum of a game gets a 1. Let's take a breather from this list of terrible games, and end with a segment about, well, another terrible game. But this one does have a happy ending. Well, if you're after easy platinums, that is. This is Road Bustle, a game where you run across highways collecting points for each step you take. It's sort of like Frogger mixed in with an endless runner. Now, if you actually try getting this the normal way, it'll be pretty difficult, but thank goodness there is an alternative method to get that juicy platinum trophy. You see the starting area here? Well, you can walk backwards. Walk backwards as far as you can, then walk forwards to the starting line. Keep on repeating the process, and Bob's your uncle. You will have a brand new sparkly platinum trophy to add to your collection. Just don't run into the benches. You'll die if you do. Now hopefully that hasn't been patched out. But anyway, let's kick off with number 2. Yeah, it's a good one. Oh, actually no, it's terrible. But anyway, number 2. Number 2. He said 2. Crypt of the Serpent King is a first-person dungeon crawler where you must go around dungeons collecting all of the keys and avoiding monsters. Or battle them, whatever you want to do. Also, you can unlock a cage located in the center of the stage that contains a boss. Yeah, that's the story, and... what? I mean... you're going around trying to find a prisoner so you can kill them. What? The gameplay is shallow and incredibly repetitive, to where it was a very boring experience. The game does throw in a few tricks to cover up its boringness, or tries to at least, such as making the dungeon layouts generated at random. But it doesn't work. It doesn't make this game any less boring than what it is. In fact, it makes it even more frustrating, if anything. Yeah. Because the level layouts themselves are incredibly bad. I mean, laughably bad. as, well, each dungeon was practically the exact same as one another, minus a few texture changes here and there. Well, except for the final level, because in the final stage they added in doors. That's right, doors! Yeah, and the second level's got, gas, fire, textbook stuff. The bad guys are also ultra predictable, with little to no thought put into their programming, making this a pretty easy game to beat. And that's if you got the patience to actually play this game. Even I fell asleep trying to play this game. And I am not joking, I quite literally fell asleep trying to play this game. Although, a few caffeine shots later and I did beat it, but it wasn't very easy to sit down through. Yes, I'm quite aware of the contradiction that I made saying that this is an easy game to beat, but it's hard because you have trouble. That's not the point! Yes, but fucking moving on. But thank goodness you can save in between levels and continue on when you feel like it. There's also an experience points system, in which you can spend your points to upgrade your stats after you have beaten a stage. Pretty simple stuff. And, well, it works. I mean, the leveling system, it works! Just pump up a few levels and you're practically unstoppable. You can also unlock weapons as well. And these weapons can become quite overpowered, but they require gold to unlock, and you get quite a decent amount if you search each level. And even so, it doesn't make this game much better, doesn't it? No! I mean, it's still a crap game, regardless of the system! Really itchy nose today. What the heck? Don't worry, folks. I tested negative for the COVID scale, so I'm safe. And so are you! Graphics are fucking ugly. And, well, cheap looking as well. It looks like they took a few basic Unity assets packs and just, well, slapped it into this game. Even a tree looks less wooden than this piece of garbage. Animation is oh so laughably bad. I mean, when you kill them, they just fall over like it's some sort of comedy movie. It's just like, wow. It's enough to drive you mad, isn't it? Yeah. And don't get me started on the jumping. The jumping is incredibly stiff. And you really do have to look where you're jumping to, as the keys will be surrounded by spike pits, lava pits. It doesn't fucking matter what pits they are. They all do the same thing. And they all show the same thing. And if you fall into it, you just drop down into infinity. And you have to start the level all over again. Which is just swell. Swell as shoving a beehive up your ass, isn't it? Oh, actually, no. If you have a beehive up your ass, at least you'll be shitting honey. That's more pleasurable than this game. What were they thinking with the music? It sounds like it's from a cheap horror movie. And it even has, well, it's even got jump scare sounds. Despite this game, not having any jump scares. It's just slapped on, and it doesn't work whatsoever. Overall, it amazes me that this game even exists. Hell, it's a game that made it onto the PlayStation 4. Well, it's also on Switch now too, which is just fucking bonkers. So stay away. Stay very, very far away from this pathetic attempt at a video game! This game needs to fucking burn. 1. And yes, that is a 1 in the percentage scale. Not a 1 out of 10, not a 1 out of 5, a 1 out of 100. Fuck this game. And fuck whoever made this. You fucking fuck.
Now what will number 1 be? Find out after the break.
If you can't beat any of these games, play dirty. And phone the people who can on the Sega Hints and Tips hotline. 02663 8788. Serious help for serious players.
New Pocket Arcade from Sega. The only handheld games with flip-out screens. So they're here, they're gone, and they're back. Amazing Sonic, Sega, Sports, and more. Sega! Pocket Arcade. Don't get caught with anything else.
We're back. It's the Kaisercade Halloween special. Now let's see what horrors await at the number 1 spot.
Well, that is nearly it for this episode of Kaisercade. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? It really doesn't bloody matter because I'm making more episodes anyway. Yeah. Anyway, if you're not checking out, please make sure to check out www.emeraldrangers.com where you'll find some awesome written articles about video games. Kotosaku? Power Ranger stuff, Ultraman stuff, Kamen Rider stuff. Ooh, come on, Rider, come on. But yeah. And also, if you want more of me and the other crew in video form, then please follow us at our Twitch page at twitch.com/EmeraldRangers, where I stream every Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday with some, well, games, but games with my excellent quality commentary over it. And we're also on YouTube. That's right, we are on YouTube. Well, you're watching this on YouTube, but you're not watching this on the official Emerald Rangers channel, aren't you? No, you are not. Although this probably should be on the Emerald Rangers channel. We'll see. Anyway, I have been Captain James T. Kaiser. Thank you for watching this episode that's been, well, funny enough, years in the making. I had this episode written down a few years ago. Yeah. I know other people have made lists since then, but I wrote this before them, so suck on that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Enjoy, or, not enjoy, the number 1 spot on this list of 5 really, really terrible PlayStation 4 games that I have played. And let's hope that the PlayStation 5's library is so much better. Well, it's going to be good. I just hope it doesn't have any of these shit oh, wait, never mind. Backwards compatibility is going to make sure that these terrible games are going to live another generation. Well, shit.
Number 1.
We have reached the bottom of the barrel now. If you thought Crypt of the Serpent King was great, well, that's got nothing on this game. The Unknown City. What's this game about? Well, you play as a police officer just driving through a nice peaceful town. Or is it? You soon discover that the place is full of the undead. And not just that, but it gets crazier from there. You find out that there is this mysterious being that tells you that it needs your help because there's another evil mysterious being out to conquer time. You know what this leads to? That's right, it leads to your character jumping across time to find these pieces of this special gun. I haven't even started to dig about how bad this game truly becomes. First of all, the voice acting in this game is superb. I mean, it's totally not text-to-speech whatsoever. Who am I kidding? It's totally text-to-speech whatsoever. Oh, it's so bad. That'll make you die. Or make you feel like that you're dying at least. I mean, I played it, and I'm still alive. At least I think I am. Yeah. And it's not just that. The intro goes for way long. I mean, it took 5 minutes of straight up slow. I mean, it took 5 minutes of straight up cutscene before I can even get to some gameplay. Now, that actually wouldn't be bad if it was an entertaining cutscene, but it was boring as dog balls. Actually, no, dog balls are far more entertaining than this cutscene. I mean, it is slow. Really slow. They take a 1 minute story to build. They take a 1 minute story build up and drag it on for 5 minutes. And then the gameplay kicks in, which is not absolutely terrible, but it's still pretty bad. I mean, you can walk around and shoot things, but actually, that's the only good of it. Actually, no, you do get to start off with every single weapon, but you need to use them wisely, because once you're out of ammo for one weapon, you cannot use that gun ever again. Unless you find ammo lying around, which is not going to be easy. So your whole supply has to last you through the entire game, and it's good luck with that. And the bad guys and stages themselves are just cheap Unity assets just slapped into one package. I mean, the zombies, the bad guys are all incredibly inconsistent. I mean, you got like the classic zombies, but then you got like these roided up looking dudes, and you've got these guys that look like entertainers. You even got stuff like mudmen, frogmen, skeletons, and Clayface for some reason. I mean, it's so inconsistent. And these levels that you're playing on, well, you've seen them before in other games. Now the goals of the game is kind of what you expect, or for the first half at least, which is just go around, shoot things, move on, until you move on to the next level. But the third level is much different. So different, but not in a good way, and it was already bad enough to begin with. The third level has you on a big, giant, massive map, where you must find pieces of a gun so you can take out the final boss. Now, finding these pieces of gun shouldn't be that hard. I mean, they're just in little houses. I mean, how hard could that be? But what if I told you that each time you play, the guns are scattered into random ones? So yeah, that makes traversing around this giant piece of land to be much more of a tedious experience. You have to check every house with a fine tooth and comb, and that, my friends, that will test your patience, that's for sure. And, well, at this point in the game, you'll be battered, you'll be bruised, and you'll barely have any ammo. And zombies will spawn like crazy. So, they want to make your experience a living hell with this one. The music in the game isn't anything worth noting about. It's just, bad generic soundtracks that have for some reason been pumped up to 11, sound really loud, obnoxious, distorted, and in your face. Yeah, mute this game while playing it and listen to something else. So overall, The Unknown City is a masterpiece of bad games. I mean, it's so bad that I actually didn't want to sit around and type out a script, because I thought that would be a little bit too generous to give for that game. So instead, I'm just yelling, because this game made me angry. It made me very angry. Yeah, it made me very angry indeed. Yeah, so angry that, well, as I said before, I didn't want to write a script. I'm just bloody freestyling it right now. Hence why I sound like that I'm actually reading a script, because I'm trying to make up everything in my head. Yeah. This game, man. This game. I don't even think I need to say to stay away from this one, because it's pretty, well, self-explanatory at this point. I mean, I know Crypt of the Serpent King only got a 1. I mean, how does it get lower than that? And believe me, I'm surprised too that it has gotten lower than this. For you see, this game gets a very excellent score. Of a 0.5. Yeah. Bye.
Guy's gay.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Kaiser Cave where I've got a new look. And yes, I am quite aware that I do look like a fuck.